Honorable. Is it the All Progressive Congress? Slowly but surely. Linda, are you defecting? Huh? Honorable Francis, are you defecting? Committee? Do we review your committee? Are you defecting, or do we review that committee that you're handling? Thank you, Jerry. Honorable colleagues, please permit me to make one or two remarks before we go into the business of the day. Last week, I spoke about the rising spate of insecurity and conflict across the country. Shortly after and throughout the weekend, the warnings about the dangers we face manifested in Ibadan, or your state of Nigeria, where an explosion of violence led to citizens' death and the loss of hard-earned property. On behalf of the House, I commiserate with the families of those who lost their lives in this most unfortunate incident, and I commiserate too with the government and good people of Oyo State. I assure all Nigerians that the House of Representatives will work within the powers available to us to prevent recurrence of similar incidents, not just in Oyo State, but across our country, north, west, east, and south. Honorable colleagues, the House of Representatives has neither command nor control of the country's security apparatus. We cannot act to deploy men and equipment to gather intelligence, enforce laws fairly, and take all other actions necessary to prevent breakdowns of law and order and the wanton violence that follows its wake. However, the House is a microcosm of our beloved country. And here in these chambers, we represent every tribe and religion, creed and religion, and every region. And we owe a duty to the people we serve to do the things we believe sincerely in our hearts can improve the circumstances of their lives. Today, we serve that duty by calling on the Nigerian police force to conduct a speedy and thorough investigation into the recent violence in Oyo State, to allow for prosecution and punishment of those who instigated and participated in the killings and destruction of the property. The committees on police affairs and justice are mandated to communicate the House's position to the Inspector General of Police. His Excellency Mohammed Buhari, GCFR, has announced a committee led by the National Security Advisor, Major General Mohammed Babagana Mongunu, to hold peace and unity consultations across the country. The committee will engage governors, traditional rulers, religious leaders, security agencies, indigenous and settled groups across the states of the Federation to enact resolutions aimed at building an honorable peace in our land. The House of Representatives aligns with this initiative, and we will constitute a working group to participate in these consultations. We will work together to examine the cultural, religious, and localized conflicts over land and history that are often at the root of internal security challenges and violent upheavals such as occurred in Oyo State last week and other parts of the country over the years. Finally, I urge all of those who have large followership of people who listen to them and respect their voices to be more circumspect about the information they share, the language they use, and the conversations they enable. The words we use about each other can have outside consequences on our nation's peace and stability, because words have the power to build and also to destroy. And to political leaders, let me reiterate that we have a greater responsibility to keep the peace in our country. And to do that, we must first commit ourselves to the cause of equal justice and fair treatment for all. Only then can we wage peace with resolve, secure in the knowledge that with peace, a more prosperous union is within reach. God bless you, and God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. And on that note, we will take any public petition, if there is any. Honorable Ben Kalu.
Honorable colleagues, my name is Benjamin Okeze Kalu. I represent the good people of Nigeria, starting from Ben, the federal constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm from Abia State. This morning I rise to lay a petition from one Oladimeji Ekemba and Co. on the issuance of a letter of no objection, a waiver that is unknown to the Pharmacists Council of Nigerian Act, Cap P17 of 2004, asking the House to take steps to protect Parliamentary Act. I seek the leave of this House to lay this petition, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. You may lay your petition. Already.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Haruna Isade Deri. I represent Karairo Federal Constituency I'm from Kano State, sir. So I have some petitions to present. All the petitions have been duly signed and authenticated. I seek the leave of the Honorable Speaker to lay the petition, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Honorable William.
Distinguished colleagues, my name is Idem Unyime, member representing Ukanafun, Urogonam Federal Constituency in Akwa Ibom State. This morning, Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from one of my constituents by name...
Honorable Jerry Alagboso. Honorable Jerry Alagboso, please resume your seat. Honorable Jerry Alagboso, resume your seat. Elder.
I have a petition from one of my constituents by name Mr. Inemesit Isaiah Akpan, and the petition...
Elder, I think the Chief Whip was talking to you. Chief Whip, please can I see the Elder for a minute?
No, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, the petition is captioned, Notice of Intention to Take Over Our Land or Be Compensated for Unexhausted Improvement with respect to our 12 acres of land compulsorily acquired by the federal government through the Nigerian Police Force from Ikot Obong family in Obiondo village in Orogonam local government area of Akwa Ibom State in 1978. The petitioner, Mr. Speaker, is seeking the help of this House to wade into the matter. May I seek the leave of the House to lay the petition?
Yeah, please go ahead. Honorable, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Kola Lawal. I represent Yewa South Democratic Constituency. I'm from Ogun State, Mr. Speaker. I rise to present only a petition from Mrs. Tokunbo Lydia Adoyemade on bracing disobedience of the President of the ECOWAS Commission after an appeal for the intervention of the unjust miscarriage of administrative justice. I so say, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead. Comrade Rotimi Agusoye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Prince Rotimi Agusoye. I represent Oshope Federal Constituency of Lagos. The petition before me is from Frontier Solicitors on behalf of Mr. Adebayo Ogundoba, my constituent. The petition is on wrongful sealing of all that property at Block B, Plot 2, Estaport Company Layout, Soluyi, Bagada, Lagos, belonging to Mr. Adebayo Ogundoba by Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCO. Mr. Speaker, may I seek your approval to lay the petition before the House?
Silence, please.
Thank you, sir.
Are there any more petitions? So we move on. Honorable Henry Wawuba, 1 minute, please. We are running out of time.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Henry Wawuba, speaking for the enterprising people of the Bitoli-Kedu Federal Constituency of Imo State. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise under Order 8 through 4 to move a motion of urgent public importance to investigate the intervention funds that have been released to agencies by the federal government from 2015 to 2020. With your kind permission, Mr. Speaker, I seek the leave of the House to suspend our rules to enable me take this motion immediately. I so move.
Honorable Dozie. No. Honorable Chairman COVID.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Honorable Dr. Haruna Michelia. I represent the good people of Askara Bahawul Federal Constituency of Borno State. I stand to second the motion moved by my right honorable friend. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Go ahead, Honorable Wawa.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Once again, Henry Wauba, speaking for the enterprising people of Mbitoli Kedru Federal Constituency of Imo State. Rising to move on a motion on the need to investigate the disbursement of special funds received by agencies of the federal government. The House notes that the federal government is constrained to revert to external and internal borrowings to augment domestic savings, balance of payment deficits, and shortfalls in revenue. Also notes that the federal government has also been borrowing quite substantially to fund projects and a range of public interventions. Aware that some of the funds established by the federal government between 2015 and 2020 and the amounts released include the following. 1. Special Intervention MDGs 2015, 7.6 billion. Contingency, 22.4 billion. MDG Special Projects, 7.2 billion. Special Intervention 2020, 39.9 billion. Special Intervention Constituency Projects, 3 billion. Capital Contingency, 15.8 billion. Further aware that other interventions include National Water Rehabilitation Project, National Agriculture Technology Program, and salary bailout to states, payments for fertilizer, state water supply project, state agriculture project, and Fadama project. Concerned that despite the huge amount of funds invested, citizens continue to undergo untold hardship. Also concerned that despite the huge loans to boost the economy, Nigeria still slipped into its second recession in less than 5 years. Further concerned that those agencies in charge of disbursing some of the special funds are unable to give proper accounts of how the monies were utilized. Worried that most of the funds were not captured in the appropriation processes. Thus, the National Assembly was not made aware of such monetary allocations. Also worried that alleged fraudulent practices by agencies of government are sabotaging the efforts of the federal government and, if left unchecked, may lead to total collapse of the country's economy. The House resolves to set a committee to investigate the disbursement of funds received by agencies of the federal government from 2015 to 2020 with a view to ensuring that such funds were properly utilized. I so move.
Okay, Honorable Chairman COVID, second again. Chairman COVID, you are seconded.
Yes, it's working now. Your Excellency, I remain Honorable Dr. Haruna Michelia. I stand to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Henry. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, sir.
It's a very straightforward matter, but I'll just allow for, I want you to yield your time, Honorable Nwauba, for the debate. Let's allow Honorable Oluga for just 30 seconds. Honorable Oluga, please contribute to the motion. Honorable Oluga.
Right, Honorable Speaker, respected colleagues, my name is Representative Taiwo Oluga. I speak for the entire people of Iriwole Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Osun State. I was about to raise a point of order, before you called me, so I'm glad, I'm excited that you can see in between me. So I come under...
No, before your point of order. Before your point of order, just contribute for 10 seconds to the motion.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to support the motion.
No, that has already been supported. Okay, you want to support it?
Yes, I want to support the motion that it is very, very important and germane for us as a country.
You know, talk to the chair. Don't talk to Raji. Talk to the chair.
Mr. Speaker, am I protected, sir?
Not right now. Not at the moment. Just don't talk to Raji. Talk to the chair and the house.
I said point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Contribute to the debate.
Mr. Speaker.
Oh, you don't know what it's about. Okay.
Mr.
All right.
Speaker, I was about raising point of order, sir. I was about raising point. I have the privilege.
Your point of order will come after the contribution to the debate.
Allow me to raise my point of order, sir.
Your point of order. So you have no contribution to the debate. Okay. So we'll just put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Point of order. What is it? There's no observation in our rules. No, come on that point of order.
I speak for the people of Iriwole Federal Constituency. I am from Osun State. Mr. Speaker, this morning I come under observation. I come under the privileges of the House. That privileges are the rights enjoyed by the House collectively and by members of the House individually conferred by the legislature.
What's your privilege that has been broken?
Yes. Sir.
What's the privilege? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the chairman, Committee Women in Parliament, we cannot but say this on behalf of respected woman, the woman of substance, Dr. Mrs. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, that we congratulate her, and on behalf of all Nigerians, we celebrate her for coming on board to be the Director General of the World Trade Organization, being the first female ever, and being the first African that will come on board to take that position. And I'm using this medium to thank our government, led by our President Muhammadu Buhari, for supporting her during the struggle. And at the same time, we are thanking all the international communities for throwing weight behind her to emerge as the Director General of the World Trade Organization. So we celebrate her, all the women, especially the women folks. All Nigerians, we celebrate her and we congratulate her and we wish her a successful tenure in office. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Okay, I would have preferred you have brought that separately, maybe under personal explanation or something, because I don't think that comes under privilege. But we acknowledge the feat and thank you for bringing it up, the feat of the achievement of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, she's made us proud as a country, and we congratulate her. Thank you. Do we move on to the order of the day? Oh, Bagos, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Dachu Musa Bagos, representing the good, great people of Jos South, Jos East Federal Constituency. I'm standing on under Order 8, Rule 4, matter of urgent public importance, on a motion to caution public officials against being inflammatory and divisive in the countryside.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Motion to caution public officials against being inflammatory and divisive in the countryside.
Yeah, I think that was even part of my address remarks this morning. Okay, any second, Idem. No, Idem, you already moved your own motion. Let Honorable Sada solely second that. Let's give people of Katsina a voice.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Sada Soli. I'm representing Jibia Keita Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my brother Bakos. I so second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. The House notes that the basic idea of being inflammatory or divisive is any drastic policies, statements, actions, and the like that are capable of provoking aggressive reactions from the members of the general public. Also notes that in recent times, we have had governors within the country making different statements in the case of insecurity within the country, especially that of the 13th of February 2021, where the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, a public official, who should, based on the insecurity problems in the country, need to have been careful with statements and action, which is reported to have justified the illegal bearing of firearms by some Fulani headsmen, which has caused national outrage. Aware that the Constitution does not grant any individual or group of people the right to bear sophisticated arms, but only a licensed sophisticated shooting range to that effect from the Inspector General of the Nigerian Police. Further aware that even if the IG were to grant license, the IG's power cannot contravene the provision of Chapter F2, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 004 Firearms Act, which classifies the arms AK-47 carried by some headsmen as ascribed by the governor illegal and prohibited. Concerned that the inflammatory and divisive statement will lead to enormous belief that the government supports the crimes of carrying prohibited firearms. Concerned also that this situation can easily lead to armed conflict as other groups, such as farmers and defenseless citizens, will consider it as a threat to their safety and to arm themselves with AK-47. Concerned further that if all public officials regardless their positions or status, are not cautioned against inciting or provoking. Concerned further that if all public officials, regardless of their positions or status, are not cautioned against inciting or provoking the general public.
Silence, please. Silence, please.
The already tense situation in the country will lead to open hostilities. The House resolved to caution public officials against such statements and policies that can cause unrest in the country. 2, the House leadership should interface with Nigerian Governors Forum, as most of these inflammatory statements are coming from Nigerian governors. So they should focus on possible solution in addressing insecurity in Nigeria, not blaming one another. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Sada.
Honorable Rais, resume your seat.
Thank you. Seconding who? Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved. I so second.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Bagos, for that. Straightforward, just basically cautioning public officials from making defamatory statements. It's 12 o'clock. We have another 45 minutes thereabouts before we leave here. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. So we move on to the other paper. Honorable members, business of the day is presentation of 6 reports of the Committee on Public Petitions standing in the name of Honorable Jerry Alagbaso. Honorable Alagbaso is invited to present the reports. Sorry, 1 second. Honorable Henry Wawa, your motion was, what was the prayer of your motion that you moved earlier? Ad hoc? No, it's a finance matter. It's a finance matter. So we refer it, sorry, I know I hit the gavel earlier. It's a second result. So it's referred to the Committee on Finance. Honorable colleagues, it's been brought to my attention that a member from Ibarakwa, Oyo State, who had earlier, since last week, drafted and brought a motion on the issues going on in Oyo State, listened attentively and carefully to my remarks, but when I referred to Oyo State and Ibadan, I did not mention his particular constituency where the incident is actually taking place. That's Honorable Muraino Ajibola, and I want it to be on record that Honorable Muraino Ajibola has had this motion since last week, which he wanted to move, but the House in its wisdom felt it was better that we allow this format. So Ibarakwa can be infused into my statement more particularly. Honorable Muraino, thank you very much. Public petitions, have you? We move on. Seconder to Honorable Alagbaso. Any seconder to Honorable Idris?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Kabiru Idris, member representing Kura Modobiga Rumalam. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kano State. I rise to support this very important motion, heavily moved by my honorable colleague. I so support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Report. DS that came and said it's a finance matter. Because it's a... Let him know I mean the DS, and then if you can help him, you can talk to him as well. DS. First order of the day is consolidation of 3 bills. Honorable Lawal. Honorable Lawal. Okay, public petition. Who's handling that? Honorable Alagbaso is not here. You're holding his brief. Go ahead. I actually thought it had been moved. The distraction, too much distraction. Honorable Dederi, go ahead.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Haruna Isa Dederi. I represent Karairo Federal Constituency and I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, sir, I hold the brief of the Chairman, Public Petitions Committee, Mr. Honorable Jerry Alagos. Honorable Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, I rise to move that the House do receive 6 reports of 6 committees of the public petitions. One is the report on the petition by First Synergy Resources Limited. The second, report on the petition by UC Obaragu and Co. The third, report on the petition by another petition by First Synergy Resources Limited. The fourth, report on the petition by Dr. Napoleon Aisueni JP. The fifth, report on the petition by Falode Oluyemi Oloyele. And the sixth, finally, report on the petition by Hussein Afolabi and Associates. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I do move.
Honorable Olubumi, can you second? Honorable Olubumi, please second.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Odebo Michelle is my name. I represent the good people of Ogulu Asulere Federal Constituency. I rise to support the motion as moved by my colleagues. I so second.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Please lay your report. Honorable colleagues, first order of the day is consolidation of 3 bills. Honorable members may wish to know that the bills are on the same subject matter, and I invite the Chairman, Committee on Rules and Business, to move that the bills be consolidated. Chairman.
As Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I'm Abubakar Samfulata. I represent Berniwa Krika Sama Gudi Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Jigawa State. Honorable colleagues, I move for the consolidation of 3 bills as follows. A bill for an act to amend the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition Enforcement and Administration Act and for related
Order, please. Order, please.
542. B. A bill for an act to amend the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition Enforcement and Administration Act to make provisions for enhanced efficiency in the operations of the National Agency for the Prohibition and Trafficking in Persons and for related matters, HB 1054, and a bill for an act to amend the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition Enforcement and Administration Act number 4, 2015, to review the mode of appointment of the Director General of the agency, strengthen the composition of its governing board, and review the offenses and penal provisions and for related matters, HB 1154. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Silence, please. Silence, please.
Honorable Salame, please second. Honorable Salame, please second. Second the...
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'm Abdullah Balardo Salami, member representing Garba Ilela. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my dear colleague. I hereby second it.
I hope you are fully recovered now and everything is okay, Honorable Salami. Honorable Salami, I hope everything is okay back home now. You are fully recovered. Everything is okay back home now. You are fully recovered. You had an incident. Well, alhamdulillah, we thank God. All right, so those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The Committee on Rules and Business will please schedule a date for the commencement of debate. Second order of the day is consolidation of 4 bills. Honorable members may wish to note that the bills are of the same subject matter, and I invite the chairman. The chairman of the Committee on Business and Rules to move that the bills be consolidated.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I'm Abubakar Samfulata. I represent Berniwa Krika Sama Gudi Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, I move for the consolidation of 4 bills as follows. A bill for an act to amend the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 to provide for review of the provisions which do not conform with the spirit of the Constitution and make them more responsive to criminal justice reform and for related matters, HB 944. B, a bill for an act to amend the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 to eliminate the use of life-threatening gadgets on suspects by security agents according to international best practices and for related matters, HB 1108. C, a bill for an act to amend the Administration of Criminal Justice Act number 13, 2015 to further enhance the dispensation of justice in criminal proceedings in Nigeria and for related matters, HB 1162. D, a bill for an act to amend the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 and for related matters, HB 1186. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Adejare, can you second, please? Honorable Adejare, please second.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for this opportunity. I still remain Dr. Samuel Babatunde Adejare, and I represent the good people of Agege Federal Constituency of Lagos State. I stand to second the motion as moved by the chairman of the rules and business of the House. I so second.
Which one? Which motion? Honorable Adejare, which motion are you seconding? What did the motion say? Okay. Those in support, please say aye. Those against it, say nay. The ayes have it. Third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Institute of Animal Science Act, Cap N160, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and for related matters, stand in the name of Honorable Gideon Ogwani. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 7th July 2020, and I invite Honorable Ogwani to move that the bill be read a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Gideon Gwani. I represent Kaura Federal Constituency, and I come from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Institute of Animal Science Act, CAP 160, laws of the Federation 2004, and for related matters, that this bill be read a second time, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, Deputy Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Kiru County Judge. I represent the good people of Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. I rise to second the motion assembly moved by Minority Whip. I so second.
Those who support that the bill be read a second time, please say aye. Those against it, say nay. Ayes have it. Arugwani, that's okay, have you? So that we can move fast. Oh, you wanted to debate it? Yes, okay. Clerk.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Institute of Animal Science Act, Cap N160, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and for related matters, second reading. This one,
So bill is referred to the Committee on Agricultural Production and Services. Fourth order of the day is commencement of debate of the general principles of a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal University of Education, Pankshin Plateau State, for the promotion and development of teacher education in Nigeria, and for related matters, stand in the name of Honorable Adamu Yusuf Gagdi. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read for the first time on Tuesday, 13 February 2020, and I invite Honorable Gagdi to move that the bill be read a second time. Honorable Gagdi.
Speaker, honorable members, my name is Honorable Yusuf Adamugati. I represent Panshinkanke Kanam Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Plateau State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to move that a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal University of Education, Panjshir, Plateau State, Federal University of Education, Panjshir, Plateau State, for the promotion and development of teacher education in Nigeria and for other matters related be read for second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Sejus, can you second, please? Honorable Sejus, please second. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, my highly esteemed colleagues, I'm Sejus Ose Ogun. I rise to second to be read with the second time. I still second.
I wasn't listening. I was distracted. Which bill is it? Get up. Stand up. Stop talking to Muraino. Stop talking to Muraino. Which bill?
Mr. Speaker, the bill a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal University of Education, Panjshir, Plateau State, for the promotion and development of teacher education in Nigeria and other related matters, Mr. Speaker. I second.
Thank you, Muraino.
Thank you very much.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Gagdi, I think this is straightforward. Is it an establishment bill or an upgrade? It's not an establishment bill because we're trying to minimize the establishment bills, as I said in my address. Is this an establishment bill or an upgrade from? Can you explain so that we know?
An establishment bill, Mr. Speaker. It seeks to combat the existing Federal College of Education, Panjshir, which is a degree awarding institution, to Federal University of Education, sir.
So just a change of status. Okay, thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Oh, Gagdi, are your people here? I received a notification that they were coming. Are they here? They're in the gallery? Okay. The provost. Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, second reading, please.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal University of Education, Panjshir, Plateau State, for the promotion and development of teacher education in Nigeria and for related matters. Second reading.
The bill is referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services. Fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria by creating an enabling framework for the operation and administration of the institute, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable T.O. Raji. Other members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 6 February 2020. I now invite Honorable Olawale Raji to move that the bill be read the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Wale Raji. I represent the good people of a Federal Constituency of Lagos State. I rise to move the motion that a bill for an act to establish National Power Training Institute of Nigeria by creating an enabling framework for the operation and administration of the institute and for related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Benson. Honorable Benson, please second. Second, Honorable Benson, second and tell us what you are seconding. Second, go ahead. You are still sitting. Stand up to second. Honorable Maki, please face your front. Honorable Benson, tell us what you are seconding.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Baba Jimmy Benson. I represent the good people of Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I stand to second the motion, a bill for an act to establish the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria by creating an enabling framework for the operation and administration of the institute and for related matters. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Let us thank your deputy for coming to the rescue. Thank you, Maki. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Fundamental, what is fundamental? Huh? Say it. It has some legal default.
Yeah. Why I say so, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, power we know in this country have been deregulated, and that's why you have discourse. Today, we are establishing an institute for a deregulated sector that this honorable house passed a law for. This honorable house in the 8th Assembly looked at it and feel that that sector should be deregulated. So what has the institute going to go? Patrolled by government, where the issues have been deregulated, by a functional, a regulatory system. So I don't see the relevance of the institute as of now. And first of all, the bill also did not emanate where that institute ought to be upgraded to, or that institute must be situated to. It has a really fundamental defect. Where?
Just to make him, because he did a lot of... Aha.
Yeah. First of all, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, our rules are very clear on compendium, first of all, which was not supplied for us to know the detail. Two, a fundamental issue there is that power has been deregulated in this country. So creating an institute, my thinking, Mr. Speaker, is that this bill should be repealed. If there's an existing institute without a law, then you can't repeal. Government can use an executive power through a subsidiary legislation to be able to repeal such an institute. But now, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleague, there's no legal backing to an existing department of government. No. First of all, there's no legal backing for establishing a department. But secondly, Mr. Speaker, based on our law of the 7th Assembly, which were minority leaders of that time, which we created through Patrick from Edo State. That law deregulates any power issues to private sectors review. So creating an institute, I don't see the importance of creating an institute that government have to fund for what he has deregulated. That's my clear. So I believe, Mr. Speaker, for us to understand this bill critically before it goes to second reading, I believe more information should be provided to convince the Parliament. The reason why, after government deregulating in the 7th Assembly, is coming forth again to fund another institute. To do what? That's my question, Mr. Speaker. So it's not a fundamental issue that we need to look critically.
Okay, government has regulated. I'll allow Honorable Mongonu to say what. But do we still have a PHZ?
Honorable Speaker.
Huh? Wait, Honorable.
My name is Mohamed Tahir Mongono.
No, one second, Honorable Mongonu.
Martin Mongono, Gaze.
Okay, go ahead. I was going to ask Honorable Osai a question, a very fundamental one. But go ahead. Let's hear your contribution. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Mohamed Tahir Mongono. I represent Marte Mongononganza Federal Conference of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the arguments propounded by Honorable Osai is perverse. It doesn't.
Sorry, the argument by Honorable Osai is what?
It's perverse.
Perverse.
Yes. It goes to no issue.
Honorable Osai, the Chief Whip said your argument is perverse.
It's perverse. It goes to
That's
no
a very serious so what? Continue.
It goes to no issue.
Go ahead.
It goes to no issue in the sense that this institute is already in existence. It is in Niger State. What this bill seeks to do is to give it legal teeth to back and to bite. It's already in existence. It's created by executive fiat. We are only invited by virtue of Section 4 of the 1999 Constitution and as amended, being a body that is vested with this responsibility of making laws, to bring it into existence by way of creating it legally by way of law. That is what this bill seeks to do. Then, with regard to the issue of the fact that the power sector has been deregulated. Yes, power sector has been deregulated. Okay, maybe because of my... Okay, I said, with regard, my argument is that this institute is already in existence. What this bill seeks to do is to give it legal teeth for it to operate within the confines of the law. Initially, it was created by an executive fiat. And then, with regard to the argument that the power sector has been deregulated and therefore government has no business in creating an institute, that argument does not hold water because this institute its mandate is to train middle cadre manpower for the electricity sector. We have private universities, but that notwithstanding, we have the National Universities Commission to regulate the existence of universities. So this institute is only there to train manpower, middle level and junior level manpower in the electricity industry. So the issue of the power sector has been deregulated and therefore government should hands off completely does not arise ab initio. Thank you.
Okay. I think Honorable Osai, your point, I'm not sure if the House understands it, but PHCN, is it still in existence? This sector, what do you call it? Communications. Communications, sorry, not PHCN. Communications has been, there's a level of deregulation in the communications system, but you still have government's hand involved. Yes. So I think this is about training. This is about training, but we'll explore it, we'll interrogate it further, one or two speakers, and then we'll put the question. Honorable Gagdi, Honorable Bagos, is there anybody on this side? No. And then Honorable Chidoka.
Honorable colleagues, my name is Yusuf Adamugagdi. I represent Panshinkanke Kanam Federal Constituency. I'm from Plateau State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first, there are a lot of institutions in Nigeria that government regulates their policies and modus operandi, even if they are being controlled by private sector. Take education sector, for instance. We have the National Commission for Colleges of Education that regulates and trains the activities of private colleges of education in Nigeria. You have the National University Commission that regulates and equally trains the activities of private universities in Nigeria. In the oil sector, you have them. So, Mr. Speaker, I see nothing bad in establishing a training institute that will regulate or train the activities of power sector in Nigeria. More so that that institution is in existence. This bill seeks to provide a legal framework
that will legitimize the operation of the existing institution. So, Mr. Speaker, I think my disrespected colleagues should understand that the bill is not seeking to establish a fresh institution that will add burden to the government, but to legitimize the existing training institution. So in my personal view, Mr. Speaker, the bill should be allowed to be read for second time. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Bagos. 30 seconds so that we can move fast. We go to Honorable Chidoka and then the Deputy Whip can round up. But just 30 seconds, let's wrap up. Yeah.
Representing Jos South, Jos East Federal Constituency. I'm from Plateau State, Mr. Speaker. In supporting this bill, Mr. Speaker, one of the major things that I have discovered and have seen when this bill and this institute is in place is that it's going to promote local content. If you look at the power sector, it's so filled with people, engineers from other countries in the name of expatriates. But this institute is going to promote local content by training our own people, making sure that the operators are well trained. And the power sector is one of the areas that we have major and serious issues. And if through this institute we are going to solve those problems, that whosoever is an operator and going to work in the power sector is being trained by our own institute, instead of us relying on expatriates for the private sector to employ. Is a win-win situation. So to me, having this institute is going to help us in a great deal. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Chidoka. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Obinna Chidoka, member representing Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, just a few days ago or last week, you also spoke about the paucity of funds we have in the country and the need to regulate the amount of institutions we establish. That's one. Two is that for our non-ambiguity's sake, it could have been so straightforward if he had provided us with information regarding to this establishment. That would have saved us from all this back and forth. Because as it stands now, it's a bit ambiguous. We're not sure what the institute will do. We're not sure how it will be funded. We're not sure about the headship or leadership of the institute. So if he can provide us with that, we are sure that we can look at it. And I think that going forward, Mr. Speaker, like you said, it's important that we'll regulate how we establish institutes. Thank you. I think you should step it down and provide us information.
I am Kiru Kaunye George. I represent the good people of Isukwatu Federal Constituency. I'm from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, the issue here is very simple. We have processes of making a bill to become an act. This is second leg, which is general principles of this bill. They've said their opinions. So the right thing to do according to our rules is to send it to the committee for public hearing. Let them bring their facts there. So at the end of the day, the fact will speak for itself. So I urge my colleagues that
Thank you.
should be stepping.
Let's put the question. What is the information? We have to move on. We have only 15 minutes left for sitting.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is James Abiodun Faleke. I represent Ikeja. Mr. Speaker, the emphasis of this bill is legal framework. The institute we are talking about has already been in existence, and we've been providing funds for it year in, year out. So what he's saying is that we should provide a legal framework to back this budgetary allocation and the establishment of the institute. It's a very straightforward issue.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. But however, honorable colleagues, I owe it a duty to, again, explain that although it has been argued that this is already in existence, let us be mindful of the paucity of funds. We shouldn't be ballooning the government. We should be slimming down government. And that is why in my opening remarks last week, I talked about establishment bills. Unless they are critical to survival, we should look to minimizing them only because of the funds that you don't establish a bill without an institute without funds. But we also had in our rules the provision that we were supposed to attach financial implications. At least we used to have that. Attach financial implications to all establishment bills so that we will know what it's going to cost government. So whilst we're talking about reducing the cost of governance, we need to be mindful of the fact that establishment bills only blow up the cost of governance. So from now, please, if you are bringing an establishment bill, if you must bring an establishment bill, attach and debate the facts and figures in terms of the cost and the financial implications of establishing such an institute. It is based on that that we can know whether it's even feasible, financially feasible in the first place for government to do. So, bill referred to, where is it again? Yes. Well, the long title, the clerk will read the long title for us.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish National Power Training Institute of Nigeria by creating an enabling framework for the operation and administration of the institute and for related matters. Second reading.
All right. Bill read a second time and referred to the Committee on Power. Honorable colleagues, we are moving on to motions, and we only have, like I said, about 10 to 15 minutes left. So we'll take, I guess, one or two, as many as we can. Can we, in the interest of time, can we just go to I'll read the title of the motion, and then we'll go straight to the prayers. Yes, abridged time. We'll go straight to the prayers. The sixth order of the day is a motion on extension of time for the ad hoc committee on oil spill cleanups and remediation in the oil-producing states of Nigeria to conclude its assignment, standing in the name of Honorable Amiru Tukur Idris. Honorable Idris is invited to move the motion. Honorable Idris, just go to your prayer, please.
Mike.
Member representing Bakor and Jaffery constituency, I'm from Katsina State. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I heard that the ad hoc committee on oil spills have been set up and programmed to seek input from major stakeholders, arrange a public hearing, and prepare for oversight some affected oil spills sites. My honorable Mr. Speaker, may we should note that due to COVID-19 pandemic, activities were interrupted. So, Mr. Speaker, the committee wanted to have an extension of at least 8 weeks to conclude its assignment. Thank you very much.
Any seconder? Oja. You are very mobile today, Honorable Jaha. What are you doing on that side? You are with the bad boys.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Jaha Babao is my name. Chibok Dambo Goza Federal Constituency is where I represent. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my senior colleague, Honorable Amiru. I so second.
Those in support that the committee be given an extension of 8 weeks, please say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. There's no observation in our rules, I keep saying. Seventh order of the day is a motion on need to address the worsening security situation in Isuikwato, Omuneochi, Federal Constituency, Abia State. Standing of Honorable Keruka Onyejocha. Honorable Onyejocha is invited to move the motion. What, Honorable, you know, my address covered all these security problems. Let's just be brief and quickly address it. Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable colleagues, I am Kiruka Onyejocha. I represent the two people of Isukwatu Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, Honorable colleagues, I have a co-sponsor to this motion, Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kanu, who incidentally is my neighbor. We have the same bordering community. Need to address the worsening security situation in Isukwatu Munoch Federal Constituency, Abia State. The House notes that there is an increasing disturbing security situation in and around Isukwatu and Umunoch local government area of Abia State, which, unless urgent steps are taken, may degenerate to chaos and lawlessness. The House also notes that virtually all roads that lead to the areas have been taken over by criminals, killer headsmen, and bandits who lay siege on the people of the local government areas, maiming, robbing, kidnapping, raping and killing the people and travelers. The House is informed that there has not been a single day in the last 5 months that there were no reported cases of abduction, robberies, theft, and some form of criminality in and around the two local government areas, including Bende local government. And those criminal elements are so audacious that they operate in broad daylight and nighttime, mostly without hindrance from security operatives. The House is aware that victims of those murderous gangs range from poor peasant farmers, old and young people, travelers, traditional and political leaders, among others. And a case in point is that of one Mr. Obiajulu Oka, who was kidnapped together with his wife and driver on 2nd January 2021, which forced his family to pay a ransom of 22 million naira to secure their release. The House recalls that on 6th October 2020, in 2 separate incidents, the chairman Transition Committee of Isukwatu Local Government Area and the member representing Isukwatu Local Government Area in Abia State House of Assembly were attacked on the same road. And while the House member was lucky to escape with bullet-ridden vehicle, the Transition Committee chairman paid a ransom to regain his freedom from kidnappers. Worried that the people of Isukwatu Munoch can no longer go to farm or engage in other means of gaining livelihood for fear of being abducted, raped, or killed by the criminals. The House is cognizant that unless urgent and drastic measures are taken to halt the tide and combat those criminal elements terrorizing the constituency, calamity may befall the areas, as the people may tend to take the laws into their hands, which may lead to a state of anarchy. The House resolves to urge the Inspector General of Police to prioritize the security of those government areas and arrest the criminals terrorizing the constituency. The House urged the various security agencies to collaborate for the purpose of ensuring a safe and conducive environment in the constituency. The House mandates the Committee on Police Affairs to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
All right, the second, the co-sponsor, Honorable Ben Kalu, is the second, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, My name is Benjamin Okezie Carlo. I represent the good people of Nigeria, starting from Bende Federal Constituency. I'm from Abia State, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I rise to second the motion. I've been so efficiently moved by the Deputy Chief Whip of the Ninth Assembly. I so second.
Those who support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. We only have time for one more motion because the leadership has a very important meeting at 1 p.m. So we only have time for one more motion, which is the 8th order of the day on the need for the Independent National Electoral Commission to review upward the number of state constituencies in Oyo State, standing in the name of Honorable S. Ajibola Muraino and 13 other honorable members. Honorable Muraino is invited to move the motion.
I want to invite his attention.
Thank you, our Right Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I am Honorable Dr. Ajibola Muraini. I represent Ibarapa Central, Ibarapa North Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I'm from Oyo State. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I rise to move the motion on the need for the Independent National Electoral Commission to review upward the number of state constituencies in Oyo State from 32 to 40. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, in moving this motion, 13 other honorable members from Oyo State are with me. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the name of Honorable Tolulope Tiwalola Akande Shadipe should be so read because there is a typographical error there. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, the House notes that Section 112 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, provides that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, shall divide every state in the Federation into such number of state constituencies as is equal to 3 or 4 times the number of federal constituencies within the state. The House also notes that Section 91 of the Constitution provides that the House of Assembly of a state shall consist of 3 or 4 times the number of seats the state has in the House of Representatives, divided in a way to reflect, as far as possible, nearly equal population, provided that a House of Assembly of a state
Honorable Olubibi
of not less than 24.
Please step down. It's strictly imposed today. Honorable Olubumi, Kabesi, please step down. Please.
Further notes that
Kabesi
of the Constitution,
Honorable Olubumi,
Chief Whip, can they stay?
that INEC shall review the division of every state into constituencies.
Chief Whip, can they stay? Can they stay? Huh? No. Okay.
They should step down. Step down.
Into constituencies at intervals of not less than 10 years, and may alter such constituencies under the provisions of this Constitution to such extent as it may consider desirable in the light of the review. Aware that Oyo State currently has 32 state constituencies and 14 federal constituencies, namely Onara, Sukegbeda, Iseyin, Sukajola, Wajo, Waitesiwaju, Ibadan Northeast, Southeast, Lagelu, Sukakiyele, Barapa East, Sukido, Barapa North, Uluyole, Atisbo, Shaki West, Ibadan Northwest, Southwest, Barapa Central, Barapa North, Afidio, Atiba, Oyo East, Oyo West, Ogolua, Surulere, Uluyole, Ogomosho North,
Honorable Muraino, please go to the prayers, please. It's 10:47, 12:47. Prayer.
The House resolves, 1, to urge the Independent National Electoral Commission to commence the process of reviewing upward the number of state constituencies in Oyo State by creating additional 8 state constituencies to comply with the provisions of Section 112 to 114 of the 1999 Constitution. 2, mandate the Committee on Electoral Matters to ensure compliance and report back within 6 weeks for further legislative action. Right Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I move in terms of my motion papers. I beg to move.
Honorable Agusoye, second and move your amendment. We need to move. We really need to move.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Prince Rotimi Agunsoye, representing Koshope Federal Constituency of Lagos. I rise to second the motion and I want to move for an amendment.
What's the amendment?
The amendment is that prayer number 1 to read that of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to commence the process of reviewing upward the number of state constituencies in Nigeria instead of Oyo State by creating additional constituencies. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So you want to ride on Honorable Muraino's hard work.
Thank you, Mr.
To
Speaker.
cover your own state.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You want to ride on the poor man's hard work to cover your own state.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
What if INEC does not have the money and there's only one state they can do? Second. Honorable Sulaiman.
I'm from Kano State, and my name is Comrade Aminu Suleiman. I represent Page Federal Constituency.
We all know you, where you're from.
I'm on my bid to support the secondment and the amendment as proposed by Honorable Prince Rotimi. I so second it. Perfect in order, all over the country.
Okay, those in support of amendment that it be extended to all federal constituencies, even though the work was done by Honorable Muraino from Oyo State. Those in support of that amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. I have a quick announcement, honorable colleagues. This is from the minority leader. Sorry. It's signed by Honorable Gideon Gwene, Minority Whip, and Honorable Chinyere Igwe, Minority Caucus Secretary. This is to inform and invite all members of the minority parties, PDP, ABGA. Is there anybody left in ABGA? Is there any ABGA here? They've all gone. They're now in APC. So let me amend that, Honorable Gwene, let me amend that. This is your notice. We remove ABGA. They've been deregistered in the chambers. So this is to inform and invite all members of the minority parties, PDP, Labour, SDP, AA, ZP, okay, Zenith Party, that a welcome back reception of the caucus holds as follows. Tuesday, 23rd of February, 2021, venue, Transcorp Hilton Hotel, time, 6 p.m., presence and punctuality are highly expected. Honorable Gwene, what are you going to discuss in Transcorp with your minority caucus? What are you going to discuss? Leader, they are holding a minority caucus meeting at Transcorp at 6 o'clock on 23rd February.
Sir, I don't bother about that, but they must be sure that they are safe. There should be COVID compliance to the protocol.
So after your meeting on the 23rd, please.
We test them
no
here.
Entry for the minority caucus in the chambers until you show your certificate.
Yes.
So announcement made. Leader, Adjournment. We have to move. We really have to move. They're waiting already.
Okay, we step down other motions.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Samplata. I represent Benua Krika Sama, Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, I move that items number 9, number 10, items number 9, 10 on the order paper is stepped down by the leader of the House. I saw move, Mr. Speaker.
Items.
Mother, step down. Leader, adjournment.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Alasan Ado Dogwa is my name. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I represent Dogwa Tudungwada Federal Constituency. Honorable members, I'm from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that this House do adjourn to Tuesday, next week, the 23rd day of February 2021 by 11 a.m. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Okay. House adjourned till the 23rd February, 11 a.m. Hold on, sir. I have to go.
must come and say thank you.
Hold on, I have to go. They are waiting for me. What is it? I've been saying this since this morning on the floor.